Hi everyone! Welcome back to the final episode of my massive Japan haul series. If you missed the previous episode, you can check it out in the links above over here. For today's episode, I'll be sharing with you the various itabags and anime merch storage stuff which I picked up from Japan. You see, I have a lot of little small knickknacks and they are in serious need of proper storage and protection. There's so much variety in Japan at a much cheaper price. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off this video, I picked up two folders to store A4 clear files. I bought the double capacity version, which has 40 pockets to store a maximum of 80 files, since I have a whole lot of anime files. It may look like a normal file folder, but the pockets in these folders are slightly bigger than A4 to allow an A4 clear file to fit in. I kinda needed this because the folder I have here is, well, pretty much full, as you can see. And with all the new Hoshina files I got from this trip, I really needed more space. So with this, I can get more files. The next item I picked up is something I've never seen before, but wish I knew existed. It is a plastic holder for badges, which you can put in an itabag. Now I know how people manage to align their badges so perfectly in their bags, without damaging the bag itself. Unfortunately, this sheet I got is for 54 to 58mm badges, but most of the can badges I got from this trip are 75mm wide. So I'll probably find a use for this once I have more of the correct size badges next time. Next, on the topic of can badges, I also picked up these plastic covers for 57 and 75mm can badges. In Japan, there is a shop called Syria, and everything costs just 100 yen, way cheaper than Daiso. The 57mm pack has 10 pieces, and the 75mm pack has 8 pieces, which is quite generous for less than $1. Thankfully, most of the badges I got from Japan are 75mm wide, and I can use these covers. I also picked up a 100mm badge version, if I ever get such a big badge. It also has a cardboard stand at the back to set the badge up like a picture frame. Besides the badges, I also grabbed a whole bunch of coaster protection because I got a ton of coasters from the various anime cafes I went to in Japan, as well as a whole bunch of other coasters I previously got, all in need of protection. Let's see if my coasters can fit into this. Trying out this Hoshina coaster I got from Rakuspa, yep, it fits perfectly. The circular Black Butler coaster fits also, as well as the reborn one. Unfortunately, the Hoshina Cafe coaster doesn't quite fit. The hexagon shape seems to be longer on one side, so it can only go in from a certain orientation. Even so, one edge is not properly protected. I also found this acrylic coaster holder keychain, but frustratingly, the sticky portion of the packaging got stuck to the acrylic piece and left a stain. Don't be like me, removing the stain is a pain. Anyway, I have a spare Sebastian coaster from my previous haul, so I guess I'll put him here. Thankfully, he fits in perfectly. I realized I need to check the size of my stuff before buying such things, but when in Japan, I'm not really able to check the size of anything. Oh wells. Closing this up, my paper coaster suddenly looks so much nicer. However, I wish the ball chain keychain was something sturdier. These chains tend to break easily, from my experience. Next up, at Animate, I found this really interesting art piece. It is an acrylic stand for acrylic stands. And this beautiful piece has a steampunk design. It's a bit pricey, but so unique. And I wanted to know how it works. Inside, there are a few layers of acrylic sheets to form the 3D effect. Here is sheet A, with the top acrylic plate and some little simple transparent pieces. Here is sheet B, with the central acrylic plate as well as little pieces with various steampunk designs. Lastly, this is sheet C, with the back acrylic plate and a couple more little pieces. There are many little pieces to pluck out and it took quite a while. Plucking out all the small pieces is kinda tedious, yet satisfying. I quite like this steampunk design. They've got a lovely blue top hat, as well as this little hot air balloon. For assembly, the back panel has holes at the top and bottom to allow the center panel, which is this, to be placed on top and aligned correctly. Everything is held in place by this little acrylic joint piece, which goes into the hole on the back panel. It feels a little fragile, so use force but not too much so that you don't break it. Once the little acrylic joints are plugged into the top and bottom of this back panel, you can then slot the center panel in perfectly, like so. For the centerpiece, I plan to put Hitsugaya in because I was kinda annoyed by how small he is compared to his base. It looks ridiculous and I wish he was bigger, but now this size is perfect for this acrylic stand. Once he's in, the next step is to put in as many little pieces as you want. This process, though long, was very fun. It's like putting a puzzle together, but you can decorate it however you want. Here is my setup and I think it's looking pretty good. With that confirmed, I can proceed to put on the top acrylic panel, which is this. This panel clips to the little acrylic joint previously attached to the bottom panel. Again, use force but not too much so that you don't break the joint. And lastly, here is the base to attach the acrylic stand. Putting this in, it is now ready for display. I'm definitely loving this way more than Hitsugaya's original base. I also picked up another one with a Japanese Matsuri design, but I don't really have something that fits in here yet, and once I do, I'm definitely putting it to good use. For my acrylic stands, I also picked up a couple of bags. Inside, there's a pocket to separate the stands. I bought the purple one so that I could put Hoshina inside. I got this Better Mode Hoshina, as well as this little Hoshina acrylic block. And here is how they look together, and I think this setup is looking pretty good. Here is another red pouch with my Craftaholic bunny plush with this law keychain, and it seems to fit perfectly. Next, I picked up this Ita-like hand pouch, and it's a little bit more pricier, but the quality is much better. There are also many pockets inside. The outermost pocket is where you can put a couple of acrylic stands. But I think these are gonna need some protective sheets to prevent them from scratching each other. Here is another type of acrylic stand pouch I got for taller acrylic stands. There's only one pocket for one acrylic stand. Sadly, this also uses a ball chain keychain. Here is one Hoshina stand inside, but I think it can fit more things in. I also got these Sanrio acrylic stand pouches of tuxedosam and cinnamoroll. For this, the keychain is of a sturdier kind, and inside there are two pockets to put more acrylic stands. Overall, the quality is much better than the previous bags. Here is cinnamoroll with 3 stands of Rengoku, looking really good. Not an itabag, but part of Sanrio, I also got this plushie cape of hangyodon, and I can put this on some of my plushies, looking really cute. For my plushes, I also got these really cute Sanrio bags. Here is the purple bag featuring Kuromi, followed by the darker blue bag for tuxedosam. And lastly, the lighter blue is for cinnamoroll, my favorite. My cinnamoroll Armin fits perfectly inside. You can feed Armin some milk or store it back in the pocket. At the front of this pouch, there's also space to put short acrylic stands or keychains, and the setup looks really cool. Here is my Levi pouch. I also found this really cheap 100 yen plushie pouch, and I've got a ton of plushes to store. And this bag seems to fit a whole bunch of them. First up, I'm putting in a couple of norus, followed by my potato mascots. There's still space, so I squeezed in this ball of Rengoku, as well as this Craftaholic plush of him. These Anizukin plushes can also go in. And this is how it looks put together. For 100 yen bag, it sure fits a lot. This is another 100 yen bag I got, and it comes in various colors. It fits pupellas, as well as other little plushies. The next pouch I got is from Animate, and I really love it. The shape is super adorable and perfect for norus and mugi. Trying out the Demon Slayer norus I've got, it seems like I can only fit 4. The space doesn't seem fully optimized yet. No worries, I've got a bunch of law mugi, so let's try to fit them in. And the verdict? They seem to fit a lot more compactly than the norus. Oh no, one got left behind. But he's an extra. The next plush pouch I got is this circular type, and it fits bigger plushes perfectly. like this with cat plushie. I've got a yellow one for Law. There's also space to put other knickknacks like this acrylic status card I got of Law. I also found this capsule machine bag to fit a big plush, and it looks super adorable. I'm not sure who to fit in, but a with cat plush can go in. Lastly, I stumbled upon this test tube looking bag from the Kotobukiya store, and it's supposed to be for Hakase Fuyuki from Niji Sanji. I'm sorry, I don't follow her, but she's got some pretty awesome merch like this. I can fit a Chimako Nui plush inside, like Idea from Twisted Wonderland here. The one-piece Mugi Tamas also fit inside, and they look so cute and fat here. Because I got this from the Kotobukiya store, I got 2 free postcards. A lucky pull, I got Hakase Fuyuki for her bag. I also got Kagami Hayato. I don't know them, but I'm gonna keep this. To spice up this bag, I got a pearl bag handle from Animate at a really decent price to replace the bag strap. Now this test tube bag looks real classy, and I'm loving it. And that's all for today's video, the final episode of my massive Japan haul series. I hope you liked this series and found some of the tips I shared in the previous episodes useful. You can check out my Japan itinerary in part 3 of this series if you are planning a trip to Japan and need some guidance. Although I had a super time in Japan, Wallet-kun, not so much. The pain he suffered from part 1 to part 4 dealt a huge load of damage to him. And now with the addition of part 5 at about 30,000 yen, the grand total dealt from this trip is about 424,000 yen. Ouch, that killed my wallet. Anyway, thanks for staying till the end if you're still here. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw, do leave a like and comment, and do subscribe with notifications to stay tuned to more videos. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!